not everyone with Haglund's deformity will actually benefit from doing exercises. So in this video, I'm going to explain what exercises you want to avoid in all cases, what exercises could be useful, and when to start them. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maryke. I'm one of the physiotherapists from treatmyachilles.com, where you can get online physiotherapy assessment as well as treatment of any type of Achilles injury, all done via video call. Have a look at the description of this video if you want a link to our website. If you've been told that Haglund's deformity is part of the reason why you've got pain in the back of your heel, then exercises isn't really something you should be doing during the early stages of your recovery, because it usually just ends up making things worse. A better treatment for those early days is anything that you can do to reduce the strain on the injured heel. Now, I've made a detailed video where I discussed Haglund's deformity and how it may contribute to causing you pain, and also what treatments you can do and what you can do to offload that area. So if you're interested in that, have a look at the description of this video. I'll put a link to that video there. Now, the most important exercise advice that I can give you today is to avoid any exercises that move your calf and Achilles tendon into a strong stretch position. So strong dorsiflexion stretches. Now, I realize that this is contrary to most of the advice that you're going to find on the internet if you Google exercises for Haglund's deformity. I don't know why people are telling their patients to do stretches for Haglund's. It just doesn't make sense. Let me explain why. So with Haglund's deformity, the pain is at the back of the heel, and it's those structures that's injured. So if you think of what happens when you do a calf or Achilles tendon stretch, you move your toes closer to your shin bone, and the Achilles tendon that runs in this area pulls tight over the heel. Now, as that happens, you get increased compression at the back of the heel, and that happens several times. If you think of when you walk or you deep squat, it keeps on compressing, releasing, and that's quite normal. But when it's injured, that area can be quite sensitive. And if you've got a Haglund's deformity, that actually takes up some of the space. So you get more compression than normal there as well. So if you do this while you've got the injury, it's a bit like poking a bruise. You're just constantly irritating that painful area, and the pain just escalates usually. So if you've been given calf or Achilles stretches or been doing exercises into a strong stretch position, I would strongly suggest that you see what happens if you stop them for a few weeks. Does your pain improve? Examples of exercises you want to consider include like your standing calf stretch that runners do, or knee to wall stretch, downward dog, for instance, in yoga, deep squats where you really get into that dorsiflexion position, and also things like doing calf raises or heel drops over the side of a step. All of them can actually irritate it. Of course, you can restart all of these exercises once your heel pain has recovered. And even during the later stages of rehab, you may be given calf raises that move into those positions. That's absolutely fine. But really, during the early stages, I would avoid any of those really stretched positions. Okay, so now we understand that we really don't want to be doing stretches for Haglund's deformity. But what about strength training exercises? Is there a place for that? Well, it really depends on what's the actual cause of your pain in the back of your heel. So Haglund's can predispose you to getting heel pain, but Haglund's in itself doesn't actually cause pain. It's just a bony prominence, and you can have it without having pain. When they look at MRI scans, the actual structures that's usually injured in those cases is either the Achilles tendon with insertional Achilles tendonitis, or the bursa, heel bursitis. But you can also have an injury to both of those. So if you've got Achilles tendonitis, then yes, you will likely benefit from doing some strength training exercises, because they will help build up your tendon strength and restore function. If you only have bursitis, you likely don't have to do strength training exercises, because the tendon is then not affected. So the bursa just needs to calm down. Now, the only exception to this, though, is that if you've had your heel bursitis for a very long time, you may have lost quite a lot of strength in that leg because you've been protecting it. In those cases, strength training exercises can be really useful as well. Now, I've made really detailed videos in the past about the best evidence-based treatment for Achilles tendonitis as well as heel bursitis. So have a look at the description of this video if you want to link to those. Okay, so you're positive that you need strength training exercises for your specific case. What should you start with? Well, my favorite exercise for this type of heel pain is calf raises. And the reason I like them is you can adapt them to really suit any situation. Depending on how you do them, they can put really low load through the Achilles and you can really limit that stretch position. So if we think of the type of exercise you want to start with and how to test it safely for your Achilles, then I would choose double leg calf raises done only to floor level, so not over the side of the step, so that you limit how much stretch there is. And I would definitely do them in something like a running shoe that has a bit of a heel on it. Or if your exercise shoes doesn't really have a heel, you can also get kind of heel lifting inserts that you can put in them, or you can roll up a towel and just put that under your heels. I'll show you in a minute. And all of that is just to really make sure that you don't put a lot of stretch through that area at the beginning, because what we're looking for is you want a baseline to know that, okay, I'm going to test something really light, check the 24-hour response, because you don't want to see a massive increase in pain in those 24 hours. And if you can find that sweet spot where, I can do these exercises and they don't increase my pain, then you can slowly start to make them more difficult. But if you start with something that is too challenging and it really increases your pain, then you're just going to have to stop again and get the pain to calm down for a while, and you're not going to be really motivated to do anything. So I would always start with something that's easier than what you think you should be doing. So like I mentioned, you want to do them in running shoes that has a bit of a heel on them, so you don't go all the way flat to the floor. You're also looking for something that has a bit of padding at the front, because otherwise, if you do them in bare feet or shoes that's not got enough padding, it can actually irritate your metatarsals, and that can give you a totally different injury. So if you don't have shoes with a bit of a heel on them, you could also just place a rolled up towel under your heels to lift them a bit more. You've got options. So you're going to stand with your feet hip distance apart. So I'll show you from the front first. And this is the action we're doing. We're just lifting up and slowly back down. But I want you to face something that you can hold on to, because this is not a balance exercise. So ideally the kitchen counter actually works well, because you can see this chair is too low for me. But you hold on to it, feet hip distance apart, standing up nice and straight, and then you just slowly raise up on your toes and then slowly back down. We're not trying to lift up as high as you can, because the problem with that is that it can pinch the painful tissue at the back, and that then can cause you pain. So just go to where it's comfortable. Also, don't drop down, because then that takes no control. So you're not actually getting the benefit of it. So control that motion up, control the motion down. You want to do you want to start with only a few repetitions, check the 24-hour pain response, because sometimes this type of pain only tells you several hours later that you've overdone it. And then eventually build up to where you can do 20 repetitions in one go, have a minute's rest, do about 3 sets, and it's absolutely fine also if you want to split that up during the day so you don't do them all in one go. You will have to increase the difficulty of your calf raises during the later stages of your rehab. So we're talking about adding weights, or perhaps doing them on a single leg with weights, and in some cases even going over the side of a step. But this change has to happen really gradually. Give yourself at least 12 to 24 weeks to spend on your rehab, because I find if you try to rush it and make it achieve those things more quickly, you just end up irritating the heel pain again. I also find my patients do a lot better if I build really good strength first, avoiding those dorsiflexion positions, so working to floor level only before we move into really strong dorsiflexion positions. Now, some people can then handle going over the side of a step, others can't. And it doesn't matter, because if you've got one of those heels who just does not like that full stretch position, stop trying to do that. I find for those patients, we build really good strength to floor level, and then we just ease them back into sport. And actually they do just as well. So there's many ways to go about this. There's no recipe for it. Also, what exercises you do and how difficult you make them or how heavy you load them up really depends on your activity goals. I mean, if you're just somebody who wants to walk your dog or do daily activities and not really interested in sport, there's really no reason that you should go that heavy or do complex exercises. Whereas if you're somebody who wants to get back to sport, you should be doing most of the things I've just spoken about. So it's important that your rehab plan is planned around you and what you want to be doing, and also adapted along the way, depending on how your heel actually responds to it. An experienced physio can help you with that bit. Brilliant. Hope you found that useful. Now remember, if you need more help with an injury, you're welcome to consult one of the team via video call. The link to the website is in the description of this video. Take care.